Hello everyone, this is Carl over at Legendary Leatherwork. How are y'all today? Today we're going to start on the hammering the holes on the scalloped belt. So let me lay you down here and we will get started right quick. Alrighty. Okay, here's the scalloped belt, and this little tool is from Tandy. It's the 4-hole puncher, and I've taken 2 of the little hole punch tips out so that we can make enough room for the scalloped or the stainless steel when we put them in. And the reason why we're making these holes is because we have to put leather string or cord into the leather so that we can have a good separation on the stainless steel. Right now I'm trying to line up this, because you want the string or the leather lace or leather string to stop right at the edge of this curve. Okay, so this is just about it. We'll get this started and see that. Okay, and what we'll do is go all the way down this to the last curve. Let me turn this so you can see the holes being hammered as I'm doing it, maybe vertically. That way you can see them a little better. Okay, we'll put that in there. Just want to get right on that very edge, not too bad. That way. And like I say, it's very repetitive all the way down. You gotta get the holes just right. That's what I like this little tool from Tandy. It has those 4-prong punches so that you can take 1 out, 2 out, 3 out, whichever you need. And what it will do is give a separation, as you can tell right here. It'll give a nice even separation. Each one of the holes are exactly the same, which means the separation on the string will be identical, as well as the slot for the stainless steel. A lot of people have gotten away from the stainless steel because they can't find it. Many years ago I bought like 1,000 yards of it at a company in Texas, and they are no longer in business. So I have a roll, a pretty good size roll still left, and so I still have quite a lot of the nice stainless steel available. So every now and then I'll have an opportunity to use it. A lot of saddle makers like using the stainless steel on the back of the cantle, which is really nice. So all in all, stainless steel is still used periodically, but being able to find it is the main thing. When I bought this stainless steel, I actually had them bevel or smooth the edges, so it's really nice. Really nice stuff. It's an 1/8 inch wide. And I wish I could have thought about getting some wider stainless steel also as well, but I didn't. Back then I was just doing the belts, and I've had this roll for quite a few years, and it's done me really well. Alright, you guys get the idea about the stainless steel, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this part of the video and let you know. Here, I'll show it real quick. There is the starting few holes, and I've got to go all the way down this 48-inch belt. So we'll go ahead and, like I said, each one of these holes is exactly the same, and we'll put some nylon string through there, a cord or a leather cord. Haven't decided yet, which means I will have to make these holes a little bit bigger for the nylon and possibly even the leather as well. But you don't need to see all that. But we'll make those holes a little bigger and get it ready to put the leather in, or the string. We'll see. Okay, everyone, I'm about to start showing you I went ahead and chose the nice thread, or the 2mm leather that will go into the belt. So let me lay you down and I'll show you what we're gonna do. Okay, the way I factored this in, what I did, all right, all the holes, and I made the holes a little bit larger so that the lace will go in pretty easily. And what I did is measured from the very tip here all the way to the very end, and this belt lengthwise from laying it all out is 58 inches long. So I added another, I think it's 63, about 6 or 7 more inches, just in case, because when you wrap the leather, it's going to shrink up quite a bit. At least that's what I've done in the past, and it has done that continually. So I will go ahead and start lacing this, lacing it in. And I'll tell you, this is, you know, getting started isn't a problem, but normally I use a, what do you call it, one of the little screw-on tips, needles. They go through, usually for twine or saddle leather and stuff like that. But this time I'm just going to see if we can pull it through without using anything, being that the holes are a little bit bigger. So what we'll do is we'll get this all pulled through, and once we pull it through, don't want to go all the way. For right now, what I'm going to do is put a clip on it so it won't go through for now. So, whoop, you got to be careful, because if it slips, I'll tell you what, which is easier, I'll just tie a knot in it. That way there's no way it'll go through for now, and I'll show you when we get done with, because what you'll do is you'll glue this down at the very top edge on the back side, or the same side that it's going through, just like that. There we go. When we're done here, we'll glue this, we'll lay this down like so after the knot's out of it, and we'll glue it down right in there. That way it should stay when we start putting the stainless steel. But for now, that's what we'll do. Okay. This takes a little while. It's kind of tedious, but once you get it all the way, all the leather all through and everything works like it's supposed to, it comes out really pretty. And what's interesting about this is once you pull these through and you start putting the stainless steel, you want to start at the other end. So right here, I'm starting at the tip. When we pull the lace through, we're going to start at the end that you put the slit, you know, for the buckle. So let's see what we can do here. This may not be long enough but I think it will be. If not, you can always splice in and continue on. And this takes, for me, it takes a little while because I've got to find each one of the holes and pull it through. But I think that's all right. Get all my table and everything.
2:15 p.m.
Whoops. Get all my table and everything out of the way so it. See, once that comes through, those knots come out real pretty, and it'll be a nice even flow when you put your stainless steel. That stainless steel will sink down into the little valley there. Each time that you have a little valley, it'll sink down into it really nice. And that keeps you from getting cut or scraped by your stainless steel if it's done right. I've seen some belts way back in the past that stainless steel wasn't beveled, wasn't shimmed off on the edges to begin with, so there was a sharp edge, and it would cut the leather, which is not very nice. And it sometimes will cut you, which is not nice either. Let's see. You have to be rest assured you've got to go through each one of the holes to make the valleys correct. Like I said, me having to feel where all the holes are, it takes a little longer, but what doesn't? When I'm doing the leather work, it always takes a little longer, but it comes out pretty good. Not many people like working with the stainless steel, but I have found a way to work with it very easily. And any leather crafter that used to work with the stainless steel will probably just start laughing when they see what I do, because it's so simple. They'll start nodding their head like, yeah, it works. These holes are really tight or really small, so I've got to, there we go. Yeah, small little bitty holes. But seems like it's pulling through real nice. You see, when it tightens up, it just falls into place. Real nice transition there. It's nice and smooth. The nylon cord I use a lot in this is a lot thicker, which means your stainless steel will fall down in that valley even farther, but it's hard to work with. You have to heat up the very two ends when you're trying to tie it off. Sometimes that gets to be a little difficult on my end. I've done it for many years, but it's still kind of a pain. And then I started thinking, why can't I use this round leather? And it actually comes out really nice. The valleys are decent. They're not too far below, so that's kind of nice. Like I say, I used about 6 inches, 3 to 5 inches past the full length of the leather on the belt. And maybe that will be enough. I mean, it's hard to measure how much string you're going to need. So I'm guesstimating. And maybe this will be the first time I've ever actually thought about it enough to kind of get an idea how to measure it. And if this works, then we'll actually have a set pattern to measure with, so you won't be losing a lot of your lace or your leather thread or your nylon or whatever you decide to use. Of course, this may not be a belt that a lot of people will use, and the only reason is because it's hard to find the stainless steel. But I've also done, this is also an interesting deal too. A lot of times I've made a belt like this, and I've used rawhide, dyed the rawhide, so it's really strong but colored. You can put it on make a different colored wrap around the leather, and it comes out really pretty a lot. Use latigo if you get the flat latigo. It's hard to find latigo that's real thin though. And we're talking about instead of using stainless steel. But being that I have the stainless steel, I figured why not? Might as well do it. A lot of people will see the belt in the past and say, oh man, I remember those belts. This one's a little different because it's scalloped. The belt you saw back in the 80s and 90s for a lot of the older leather workers, they were always rope edge on the top, rope edge on the bottom. But I decided to put the rope edge only on top with the lace on the bottom, which came out really nice. Yeah, this is doing real good. Okay, I tell you what, I'll go ahead and stop my video here. I'll head out for now and finish pulling this lace through. And the next thing we'll have to do is pick the leather, and we'll be doing some gluing the leather on and wrapping it around and trying to make sure the valleys stand up like they should, which we know they will. I mean, that's pretty strong. The valleys are good and stiff. It'll be a real nice transition when we get it on there. But as I say, we'll pick the leather and glue it down, wrap it around and glue it on the other side, of course. And then we'll hammer the holes for the lace. Because after we put the leather on, each one of these valleys here will have a slit hammered right down into it. An 1/8 inch slit, because my lace or my stainless steel is 1/8 inch, and it will fit in just beautifully. Okay, for now, have a good one, and we will see you in a few.